Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, my dear students of At School. In this video, inshallah, I'm going to teach you Unit 5. Unit 5 in your student book, which is totally different, a totally different topic from the topics that you have studied before. Unit 5 is about sports psychology. Sports psychology, it means we are talking about sports from its psychological part, not physical one. Okay? We are taking in consideration the psychological part, not the physical one. But first of all, let me ask you a question. If you saw this logo, if you ever saw this logo, what would you remember when you saw this logo? Huh? Exactly, this is about the Olympic Games. This logo is for the Olympic Games, which happens every 4 years. Happens every 4 years. The Olympic Games is a sports competition. It's a very important competition. It's a very important event that happens every 4 years. Now let's talk directly or get into the topic, and let's start with the first word. Who can read? Who can read this sentence for me? Okay, so those athletes are able-bodied. This person who is riding a horse is an able-bodied person. So what do you think the word able-bodied means? Able-bodied, exactly. Someone who is able-bodied, someone who doesn't have any health problems, especially in his hands, in his leg, his eyes, and so on. So an able-bodied who doesn't have health problems. So to make it brief, I am able-bodied. It means I don't have any health problems. I don't have any problems with my body. But if I can't walk, I can't speak, I can't hear, I can't think, so the opposite of able-bodied is called disabled. You can also say handicapped. You can say handicapped or disabled. So this is the first word. Next. The man will take part in the equestrian competition. Equestrian, repeat after me, equestrian. Anything related to horse riding is called equestrian. Connected with the riding of horses. Again, it's called equestrian, okay? Sometimes the road to happiness is paved with adversity. And don't get confused. Adversity, it's not diversity, okay? We studied diversity before in Unit 2. It's diversity. But now we are studying adversity, which is called, or which means difficulty or unpleasant situation. So difficult situations, unpleasant experiences is called adversity. Would you like to study nerves and be a neurologist? Neurologist, again, neurologist, a person who studies nerves. It is not, it doesn't have to do with teeth. It doesn't have to do with eyes. It doesn't have to do with your skin or your hair. No, he studies nerves to become a neurologist. Neurologist, he studies that science or that kind of medicine to be a neurologist, okay? Mostly dealing with or treating handicapped people. A neurologist, a doctor who studies and treats diseases of the nerves and, of course, the brain, the nerves and the brain. A scientist should observe things carefully. So what is observe? What does it mean? Observe, it means to watch things carefully, to watch what is happening and what is going to happen. So when you are in the science lab and you are doing an experiment, you are supposed to observe things happening and to see what is happening carefully. This is called observe. If I ask you to look at the pictures and guess the meaning of Paralympics, so is it a sports competition for able-bodied people or for disabled people? For able-bodied people or disabled people. So of course, if you look at this word, you can find it's for disabled people. It's for disabled people. Again, Disabled people who are not able to walk or to think or to speak, to write, and so on. So they are called disabled people. So again, this Paralympics is a sports competition for disabled people. Okay. Phenomenon. The Olympic Games became a global phenomenon. Repeat after me again. Phenomenon. Of course, you know the PH, pronounce it fa. Phenomenon. Again, phenomenon that brings together the world's best para athletes every 4 years. So again, the word phenomenon, it means, of course, a different meaning. If we are talking about natural phenomenon, it means something that doesn't exist regularly or that doesn't happen too much. So this is called phenomenon. So when you look at this picture, it's a phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Of course, something that exists and can be seen, felt, and tested. Of course, especially something unusual or interesting. So something which is unusual, it doesn't exist so often, so it is called a phenomenon. But if I say that person is a phenomenon, it means he is outstanding person. He is an outstanding person. He is great, so he can or he has done many important things.
Physiotherapy.
Of course, as I said before, PH is pronounced fa, so this is called physiotherapy. Physiotherapy. What is physiotherapy? Physiotherapy is the treatment of muscles, stiffness, pain, and injury. So you are having an injury, so you have to take some physiotherapy sessions. Okay, so it can be done by rubbing or moving the sore parts. So this is called physiotherapy. Physiotherapy. In this process, you take something or you are under the process of rehabilitation. Rehabilitation. Repeat after me. Rehabilitation is the process of returning a healthy or returning to a healthy or a good way of life, helping someone to do things again and again more accurately. Of course, it can be done by a physiotherapist. Okay. Self-discipline. What is self-discipline? This is a very important virtue that we learn in Ramadan. In Ramadan we have to control ourselves so we can have something called self-discipline. When you do something, even when you don't have or you don't want to do, so this is called self-discipline. Exactly, the ability to do something even when you don't want to do it. So it's called self-discipline. The last word that we have today is called virtue, and the plural, of course, is virtues. All these are virtues: wisdom, courage, humanity, transcendence, justice, moderation. All of them are called virtues. Exactly. Add more virtues. Of course, you have honesty, you have patience. All these are called virtues. I mean, good morals that can be found in any person. In a good person, he is having a good moral quality. Okay, it's called virtues. Let me revise the words again with you. Able-bodied. Repeat after me. Able-bodied. Adversity, and again it's not diversity, it's different word. Adversity. Equestrian. Repeat after me. Neurologist. 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 Observe. Observe. Paralympics. Paralympics. Phenomenon. Phenomenon. Physiotherapy. Physiotherapy. Rehabilitation. Rehabilitation. Self-discipline, and the last one is called virtue. Okay, the last one is called virtue. Now open your book, page 40. In this page, you can find a picture. You are going to describe this picture for me and tell me which sports can be played there. Again, look at the picture. Can you guess the sports event? And tell me which sports can played in this place. Okay, let me hear your answers now. Let me hear your answers. Exactly. We are talking about a sports arena. It can also be said a stadium. It's called stadium or arena. So we can play football, we can play baseball, and so on. Now it's time to read this passage. In this passage, the title of the passage is called Why the Paralympics Matter. I mean, why they are important. Why the Paralympics matter. If you have a look at this page or at this article, you can find 4 important titles in the red color. Why the Paralympics matter, triumph over adversity, Beijing Games 2008, Kuwaiti pioneers. Again, why the Paralympics matter, triumph over adversity, Beijing Games 2008, and the last paragraph we have Kuwaiti pioneers, I mean Kuwaiti champions. That's the meaning of pioneers. Of course, you have to read the article and tell me what is important about the Paralympics and what skills are important to athletes, whatever their abilities. Again, we have 2 important questions. You have to read them, you have to read the article carefully to find answers to these questions. What is, why is important, or what is important about the Paralympics? Why are they important, I mean? And what skills are important to athletes, whatever their abilities? Take your time to find answers to these questions. Okay, time is up. Time to tell me your answers. Why do you think the Paralympics matter? In other words, why are Paralympics important? Of course, these are called Paralympics. I mean, it's a competition. So in a competition, you have to prove yourself. So it's a chance for kids, or sorry, it's for athletes to prove themselves, to give them the chance to be normal people like this. So they are very important for the disabled people. So in the end of the lesson, I'd like to tell you something that, in your opinion, you have, of course, the answer for this question, that Paralympic Games are important. Yes, they are important because they draw attention to the disabled and help to rehabilitate them. So they give them the chance, they give them the opportunity to do what they want to do, and they help them to rehabilitate. Okay, so this is the first question. The second one, in your opinion also, how can we help the disabled? It's a very important question. How can we help disabled people? We have to offer them a lot of things like encouragement. We have to treat them normally as normal people. We can build schools, special clubs for them, special schools for them, and so on. So this is called the way of helping disabled people. This is the end of the lesson. Thank you very much, and see you inshallah in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.